Good night. It is Friday, the 8th of November 2019. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. We're on Flow Channel 117, also being simulcast on Kiss FM Radio. You can watch on our website www.caribbeanhottv.com or on our free Caribbean Hot FM mobile app. I'm lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. Mayor of Castries, Peterson Francis, finally hints at where he might be eyeing for the next general election. Whilst Francis continued to act coy on the matter, he revealed that he would most likely run for the Castries South seat. He says at the moment he is still in transition. Rochelle Gonzalez begins our reporting.
The Parent-Teacher Association of the Entrepot Secondary School is demanding answers over the ongoing fiasco that has been brewing at the learning institution for weeks. President of the PTA, Jennifer Jolie, spoke to members of the media on Thursday morning outside the school gates as parents gathered in protest over the long-going mold infestation that has been plaguing students and teachers alike.
How do you feel as a parent and the president of the PTA at being denied the information that you are requesting about the work that's happening at the school?
Very disrespected, I would say, because we need to know what is happening at the school. And if there's a problem and we ask, I spoke on behalf of the parents and I asked, who is the company, what company name? So we asked that because we still found there was mold in the school. So we were asking who it is so that we can get another person to come in, a second opinion, for somebody to come in and say, well, okay, we have two investigations, then we can compare.
Jolie questioned the findings of a report that was made following a cleanup and assessment of the school, which led to its reopening after it was deemed safe and given the all-clear. The PTA president said she is not buying it.
I'm hoping that the ministry is going to get our message and they will close down the school for a while, clean it up, clean it thoroughly. Meanwhile, they should not have our children out of school, but house them somewhere, especially the Form 5s. House them somewhere where tuition can happen, so that at least they're not losing out before the CXC exams.
Jolie said after the alleged cleanup, she had a walkthrough of the school and saw a number of areas in need of attention. She said it was as if nothing was done. Reporting for the Hot 7 News, I am Novita Emmanuel Green.
Fires are not always accidental. When a fire is set deliberately to cause damage or harm, it is deemed a case of arson. 3 alleged arsonists set fire to Empire 758 Club in Laborie on Wednesday. The matter is under investigation and leaves one to wonder, how successful are investigations into alleged cases of arson? We spoke with 2 members of the St. Lucia Fire Service about their success rate. Lead firefighter Dwayne Ferdinand says there are many factors affecting the success rate of the fire service when investigating fires.
In conducting an investigation, there are many things that you have to take into consideration. And one of the factors that are really impacting the fire department would be that of the resources allocated, the manpower, training, and all of these other things attached to it. So, yes, you may start investigating a case. You have persons may want to come forward as witnesses. Persons may decide, you know what, I want to stay away from that. But there are many factors that influence how successful the fire department is in investigating cases that persons may deem as arson. So it's not close-ended, all right? We start the investigation, we go as far as we can, and like I said, most times you'd find that we would deem it as undetermined because of lack of evidence or lack of persons coming forward or lack of resources or lack of, many things affecting.
Sub-Officer of the St. Lucia Fire Services Fire Prevention Department, Owen Casabor, says no matter how open and shut a case may seem to the public, it requires a thorough investigation on the part of the Fire Service Department before it can even be deemed arson or not.
We were trained to approach every sin in using a systematic and scientific approach. We do not try to prejudge any sin, regardless of information that may have been out there in the public. When we approach the scene, we have our systematic approach and scientific methods. We go about every single time. Regardless of what is out there, the videos or what persons say, we ensure that we go through the process.
The fire service cautions that setting fires can lead to serious injury or death, and in the case of arson, it is a serious crime. The sacrifices of those who volunteered for service in World War I will be remembered on Sunday, ahead of the official observance of Remembrance Day on the 11th of November. Hot 7 is placing the spotlight on local war veteran Haynes Cyril and his story of survival on the front lines of World War I.
November 11, 2019 will mark the 101st anniversary of the end of World War I, now recognized as Remembrance Day. Many men and women from the Caribbean during this time joined in the battle for freedom and peace, and it is these individuals who are celebrated on this day for their bravery and selflessness. What is it like experiencing a war firsthand? Decorated St. Lucian war veteran Haynes Cyril shared his story with Hot 7 News.
I can remember during the war, the place we had a defense force was Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, and so on. We had nothing here. And remember I made mention that we were being threatened. And we didn't have a defense force. So there, the government of England sent men from the 8th Army to organize a battalion in St. Lucia.
And once again, the year, you remember what year that was?
That was 1943.
Okay.
They started there to organize, since we had an advantage. We had the big buildings at VG and so on.
Yes.
So our government only had to recondition that. And we received men from St. Vincent, Grenada, and Dominica, and St. Lucia.
Cyril's experience of the First World War is a story of survival and innovation.
When we entered the Atlantic Ocean, we met what you call a convoy. That was a British convoy. Oh, a number of ships. There were more than about 100 destroyers and so on, troop ships, and name it. And mind you, we had 1 or 2 submarines accompanying us. But when we reached the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, the Germans started torpedoing. So you could imagine. And ships start moving from place to place. But my ship went into Gibraltar and into the Mediterranean Sea. And we traveled. We were given the order to stand by full kit. We got instruction, the corporal, because I was a corporal, Dudley and so on, in charge of a section. Tell the men we are going to Algiers. Get dressed and don't remove the pack at all, if we had to sleep with it. So, but we went through the Mediterranean Sea.
Ex-serviceman Haynes Cyril is featured in an hour-long feature of Hot 7's television program, Seko Sanuye. The full program will be repeated on Sunday at 6 p.m. For Hot 7 News, I am Jacques Wooding.
The Development Control Authority is currently working with Cabot St. Lucia Inc. team and Invest St. Lucia to ensure that their proposed touristic residential development, inclusive of a golf course proposed for the Cap Estate Casabah area, is executed to the standards of the DCA and other sister agencies. The development team met with officials from the DCA on Thursday, the 7th of November, where discussions focused on the finalization of their designs. Cabot representatives indicated that they were committed to executing a design that had been tested and proven and compliant with the highest international standards, taking into consideration the environmental and archaeological sensitivity of the Cap Estate Casabah coastal area. To ensure best fit designs in that regard, initial site investigations are currently ongoing. Cabot St. Lucia Inc. and Invest St. Lucia have expressed their willingness to comply with all requirements of the DCA in observing the conditions under which approval can be obtained. This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. There's more news coming up after the break.